Hi, welcome to our lesson for today. We are focusing on systems technology and we'll be looking at fixing common problems that you can experience while you're busy using your computer. Well, it's very difficult to know what is the problem at the first hand, but with some of the tips that we're going to look at, it can give you an idea on how to try and solve the problems before you even start dialing and calling that technician that will obviously charge you more for something that you could have fixed yourself. Now, there's a lot of things that happen whenever you're using a computer, but if you understand how a computer works, you might be able to pick up the problems that you might experience. Because obviously we know every problem would obviously have a solution, but if you don't know what is the problem, it would be difficult for you to find the solution. Now, listen to this statement. You have been using a computer for months, just a few months, and suddenly it starts giving problems. For example, when you try to connect to USB, it doesn't pick it up. What could cause that? You might start thinking the device that you're trying to connect is not working, or maybe the port is actually damaged, but you're not sure. Maybe it could be the settings of your USB connection device. Or sometimes while you're working on it, it just restarts on its own. What could cause that? Is it a problem with your software, or maybe does it have a virus? But you never know what is it that is causing these problems until you actually try to identify the cause of the problem, where it started, and then you follow on until you see how it really happened, and then you can trace back the steps. Now, here are some tips that will help you deal with these problems whenever you try to use your computer. Now, the first step that we're going to look at is using troubleshooting. Now, troubleshooting simply means that you try to solve a problem that should not be happening. Now, whenever you see something that should not be happening on your computer, you'd obviously need to try and troubleshoot in order to find where did this problem come from and what could be causing it and how you can solve it. Now, in order to achieve this, the first thing that you need to do, you need to define the problem by actually looking at issues that are contributing to this problem. So you start defining, what is it that I'm getting? What is this? Is this an error? Or is it just a glitch of something? Or did I just make something wrong in terms of the connections? Or is it just me pressing wrong buttons? Secondly, you find the cause and you recommend the possible solution. So you'd start thinking of, okay, maybe this is what could be causing this problem, and maybe the solution is for me not to now click on this button. If maybe you were starting to open up a certain software, and immediately when you open up that software, your computer restarts. So maybe you can say, no, maybe let me not use this software and see what happens. And then another one, implement and try to monitor if it happens again. So try to implement whatever solution that you thought of and try to monitor your computer. If you're using other applications, if you're using other software, does it still happen, and is it still causing the same problem? So those are a few things that you can think of whenever you start thinking of troubleshooting. All right, another way of fixing these problems is you can try to eliminate the problem. Now, how can you eliminate the problem? You eliminate the problem by checking every step that led you to this this problem. Now, whenever you're working with a computer, you obviously take note of what is it that you're doing. But the minute the problem happens, you start forgetting, what is it that I was trying to do? So try to remember what is it that you were trying to do and what happened, where did you click, and you know, until it gives you to that, it gets you to that point where you actually say, oh, so this is what I did that actually caused this problem. So now, the nice thing is that whenever you try to identify a problem, you actually go through all the steps that you've been going through, and you should not try to repeat, because obviously if you repeat these steps, they would obviously cause the problem again. All right. Now, someone could maybe say, you know what, I can't use this troubleshooting, and I can't try and check every step that I went through. So one could say, I would use the expect systems. Now, using the expect systems, it simply means that you're using a step process, all right, step-by-step process that tries to analyze the problem. Now this can be done either you use your online or offline help functions. So now where you would obviously need to type keywords or choose from a list of questions to get information about the possible problem. But obviously for you to use this expert system, you should have an idea of what is it that you're experiencing or what is the problem, because obviously you have to be able to type a keyword that would describe your problem that you are facing, or choose a question that is similar to the problem that you are having. And then on your computer, where you can get this, you can go to all programs, and then you can go to maintenance and select the help and support. So in terms of you trying to find this problem, sometimes it just becomes difficult, and I think sometimes online and offline help could be somehow better, but you obviously need to know what is it that you're trying to solve so that you can be able to give an appropriate keyword and be able to get correct results. Another solution, now this is now for specific problems. Now if the problem is with your hard drive or your flash drive or any other devices, this is what you can try to do. Right, you can try to ensure that the drivers are installed, especially for your external devices. Now normally some of these devices that we connect, they come with new software that needs to be installed onto your computer. Now if the drivers are not there, then it would obviously mean that that software, that device would not be recognized. And then another thing, you can wait for your storage process to finish before pulling out, because sometimes you just pull out your devices or you take out your CD before the installation process has actually finished. And then keep your CDs and DVDs away from heat, scratchy things, because sometimes you might find that actually your computer is not at fault, but your CD is the one that was actually exposed to heat, or it has a scratch. Lastly, avoid moving your hard drive while in use, and that is why mostly they would say you have to be seated when you're using your laptop and you put it on your lap, so not on the road. But obviously we're not referring to things like your cell phones, because obviously it's meant for being used on the road, so that is why it's a mobile device. But some other things, for example, like your computer, your PC at home, try not to move your computer while it's switched on, because obviously that could affect your hard drive. And these are some of the ordinary ways of fixing some common problems that you can have on your computer, and I hope it would help you sometime. And that is it for our lesson. Thank you.